Hello, my name is Sarah Kemp. Today I'm going to talk with you about a public speaker and author named Deepak Chopra. He is a contemporary speaker. He actively tours, speaking still. And if I do my job today, I'll keep your interest long enough that you may be interested in looking into his speeches after today. I chose him because I know very little about him. He has been known to be the physician or guru to the stars, and I typically stay away from those types of mainstream, over-publicized stories. However, I did some research and I came across the simple fact that he is indeed known to be a very well-known speaker. So that sparked my interest, and I'm sure it would spark yours as well. So why is this person such a good public speaker? Let's examine. I just want to give you a little idea about what I experienced when I listened to his TED Med talk on his latest research on neuroplasticity. That by itself is very interesting to me. My primary goal for research is actually neuroscience and psychology. So while it remained interesting on a biological level to me, I was more concerned about the way in which he was presenting the information and why it might actually speak to more people other than the individuals that are perhaps studying neuroscience or practicing neuroscience. I noticed he demonstrates some amazing strengths throughout his speeches. He is knowledgeable, interesting, he uses humor among seriousness, he engages his audience, and most notably, he makes his speeches relatively short. So I noticed that this particular speech was, I think it was 8 minutes long, and in about 6 minutes he said something to the effect of that he only had a couple more slides left. So I think he was trying to anticipate that other people might start to tailor off at about 6 minutes, and he kept them interested by noting he understood that there was a time constraint for people's interest levels. He also spoke directly to individuals, as if he was talking to them personally. The end of his speech was most notably poignant because he actually asked you, instead to listen to him, to listen to the listener, to look at who it is that is listening, because you're all that matters. And can you imagine listening to that and really appreciating the message? So Deepak is known for having many quotable quotes. You could see them all over the internet, I'm sure. Most of which actually I've never heard of. But some of his best known quotes, I'd have to say, let's try an exercise just like what he would do. Close your eyes and let these words resonate within you. Does it conjure a feeling of introspection and peace? That's what Deepak is mostly noted for, his inspiration of peace and introspection and just overall introspective thinking that allows for you to feel a little bit more at peace and perhaps healthier than what you would feel otherwise. So while closing your eyes, think of this quote. Quote, "In the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you." Now, does that give you the same feeling of stillness that he's asking for you to find? If anything, it gives you an opportunity to wonder, to search, to actually hope that what he's telling you is something that you can really take home with you. Another quote that I thought was interesting. Quote, "The less you open your heart to others, the more you open your heart to suffering." Now, I don't think a lot of you would really think of this as something that we commonly do. I think being open-hearted and kind to people is often known and one of those things that people really think that is the best thing to do. But Deepak is challenging that. He's saying, well, no, because if you open your heart to others, you open your heart to actually their pain and suffering as well. And as I've aged, I've found that this is actually true. There have been several occasions where I've actually had to say no to helping somebody because I didn't want to perpetuate their cycle, because I didn't want to take on their suffering, and I knew it was better for me that I did not. So one of the last quotes that I came across that I was most interested in is, quote, "The way you think, the way you behave, the way you eat can influence your life by 30 to 50 years." And I know that that sounds like it's something obvious that he would say to connect to the audience and really conjure a lot of maybe curiosity. But I think that it's his delivery and in the subject that actually makes for him to be such a strong public speaker. His life story is also important in this matter. He originally wanted to become a journalist, and then he decided to become a physician. And as his home country was India, he actually ended up leaving with only $25 in his pocket and with the promise of a residency in New Jersey. Once he got through the whole cycle of being an actual physician and working his way up through the different medical levels, if you will, he actually became very disenchanted with Western medicine. And as I spoke before, this is something that some of us might have encountered already, finding that solutions are not just in medications and prescribing X, Y, and Z treatments. There is a lot more that is being overlooked, and Deepak really was one of the first people to question Western medicine. If you think about it, we have been making strides in research and medicine itself over the years, and huge strides. And since Deepak has been doing this since about the 90s, it almost was parallel to when we were making large strides. So if you think about it, he was a little bit counterintuitive. We were really making big advancements, but yet he was saying these advancements aren't the answer necessarily. So he really was challenging our norm at the time, and he currently still does. So after he became disenchanted as a physician, he went on to do other things where he became, quote unquote, a celebrity guru. He really focused on his alternative medicine. And he eventually became the founder of the Chopra Center for Wellbeing in La Jolla, California. So on the whole, he speaks around the world, and he speaks of his books and his views in Western medicine and its alternatives. This resonates with the population as people are often disenchanted as well, and they seek solace in Deepak because he provides peace in teachings alone. Some of his famous presentations, Healing, Transformation, and Transformation, and Higher Consciousness, it discusses the unlocking of secrets of healing and love and the abundance of happiness. And another one is the soul of leadership, unlocking your potential to greatness. Another topic that many of us could definitely find interesting. So again, why is he such a great leader and speaker? It's because he really understands how to speak to the audience. He finalizes his speech with asking you to think about yourself. He keeps it short and sweet, and he's funny. He talks about the healthiest people are those who didn't spend money on things with money that they didn't earn, to buy things they didn't need, to impress people they didn't actually like. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you were as interested as I am, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.